So today I'll be working on this tree right over here. So to do that, I need to define the edges of this tree, and I'll just mix up some black, orange and blue on my manipulated flat brush, and let's come right over here and start dropping in and making this tree look finite. And let's come right over here too and just drop that color and make it look solid as of now, so that we get a clear reference to work on it. Now I've mixed up some blue and brown on my terrain texture brush. Let's come right over here and drop on the textures. I usually start off from the bottom and work towards the top. So let me just show you how this works. So here's A4 paper. Let me put this aside for the time being. And over here, if you have a look, when I tap, you get that irregularness as well as the effect of foliage. So when I tap it like that, and as you can see, there's a lot of gap and makes it look realistic and natural. Whereas if I apply more pressure, I get it even dense. But if I just do it like that, we get one solid piece or one solid color, which is not desirable at this moment. So just tap it like that and we get some detailings. Okay, I'll set this aside, bring this into focus. Let's pop a leaf or two outside this solid piece so that it looks irregular. And I have not added any paint thinner for this. Just gonna tap it, and this also ensures that this is not in one solid color. As you come over there, I'll be super careful. Don't want to follow any patterns. That's a one solid piece. This also ensures that the backdrop is to some extent intact. Now before we apply the highlights on this tree, let me just show you how the highlights come. So let's assume that this is a tree. Of course there was no blocking in part for this. So let's come right over here. Just gonna drop in the highlights and start off from the outermost region. Look at that, it's that easy. This makes it look very realistic as well as natural. Fair enough. And now let's go ahead and drop in some highlights with the manipulated flat brush. Still, it's not completely dry, it's still wet. Just trying to map out. Just a touch over here and there so that there isn't sparkle. Look at that. So now I've mixed up some cobalt blue with some lime yellow. Let's come over here to the exterior part of this tree. Look at that, that pushes that mountain back. I've taken thick paint on my detail round brush. And let's start defining the basic shape from outside of this tree. Just tapping it. Let's come towards the top. Okay, let me turn the canvas. And the light's coming across from this side, that is left. Look at that. And here too, I've not added paint thinner for this. Just creating that small dots and connecting and making sure that each dot touches another. Each dot represents a leaf. The reason I'm using the detail round brush more than the manipulated flat brush is because this is almost in the foreground, and I'll make use of the manipulated flat brush later. But as of now, I'll make use of this brush, get the crisp detailings. With that, I'm going from the exterior part of this solid piece. That just like that. I'll mix up some brown, blue and lime yellow. Let's come right over here to the opposite side of this tree. Let's drop in some leaves in the shadows. Look at that. Skip some spots. Skip in some spots. That'll make it look irregular. Lighten that color a bit. Just for some variety, you know. Just following the shape of that tree as it goes. So now I'll switch over to a manipulated flat brush. And let's come right over here. Pick some spot and start from there. And make sure that you group them. Don't want to cover up everything. Want to leave some parts intact. Look at that. Skip some spots over there. I like that spot. Take in more of lime yellow. This creates a grouped effect of the foliage. But when you use the detail round brush or the liner brush or the rigger brush, we get individual details. And let's go ahead and drop in the shadows and the midtones of this tree. So comparatively, this is darker and has more contrast when compared to that. Brighten that color. That. And when I was looking at this, I felt it was flat. So just change the color. Let's drop in some more variety. Right over there, just a little one. Now let's make the tree to show up the sky. I'm using the detail round brush. You can see that there's a bit of lime yellow. I've not cleaned it because I've loaded thick paint. That will take care. Don't follow any patterns. Just here and there, not much. Now let's go ahead and drop in a tree trunk. Something comes off right over there and another one. Just trying to add in some interest to the painting. Maybe there are many trunks, many branches. Now the final coat of highlight with some white and lime yellow. Let's come right over here and sparkle some of that outer lining of this tree. And something comes off right over here too. Look at that, skip some spots. And now I'm using the manipulated flat brush. Look at that builds up so many layers, prevents that element of the painting from looking flat. With this, I come to the end of this painting. I hope you have enjoyed it and thanks for watching.